Welcome back to TKO Takes, and it is officially March Madness time. Selection Sunday is just 5 days away, and I figure I'd give you all the 5 teams I absolutely do not trust to make it past the Sweet 16, or maybe even lose before that. And before y'all judge my opinions, I did finish in that 97th percentile last year, so I am trustworthy. Some might even say I'm a grizzled veteran of March Madness. So make sure to like, subscribe, because I have a video dropping every single day until the tournament tips off on the 19th. So you're going to have all the March Madness content you could possibly want right here on this channel. So let's kick things off with number 5, the Louisville Cardinals. I do not trust this Louisville team because a lot of the problems they had last year, the same problems that got them bounced out in the first round, are still present. This team lives and dies by the 3. And we all know this. The first half of the first round games, that's some nerve-wracking basketball. Teams are tight, players are nervous, it's a neutral site. Sometimes we go 5 or 6 minutes without a made bucket because guys are just settling in. So jump shooting teams in that environment, I generally don't trust them. I like teams with solid front courts to carry them through the first round into the round of 32. Then guard play wins games in March. That's my philosophy, but you need balance, especially in the first round game. Now, don't get me wrong, Mikal Brown Jr., Ryan Conwell are really talented players. They can score at all 3 levels, but if they decide to drive more and if Pat Kelsey actually ran some cutting plays, this team would be way more dangerous. Instead, they chuck threes and they don't have a dominant big man to balance out the offense. And at times, this team can be hard to watch because when the shots aren't falling, there's no plan B for them. So yes, they are dangerous. If Brown, Conwell, McNeely can start hitting threes early against a 10 seed, they're obviously going to win that game. But there's no way I'm trusting them to beat a 2 seed like Florida, Iowa State, or Houston in a physical second weekend game. So I just don't trust this Louisville team to make a deep run in March Madness 2026. And next up, we got the UConn Huskies. Whoa, TKO. They went back-to-back a few years ago, and they're actually good again this year. I absolutely hear you, okay? But answer me this. Why do they struggle against bad teams? Please explain to me why this team struggles to beat DePaul, Butler, and Providence. And Georgetown, you know. The St. John's win was very impressive, a blowout win for them. But literally a week before that, they lost on the road to St. John's. So on a neutral site like March Madness, who knows how these tight games go? They're honestly the Miami of Ohio of the Power Conference teams. Always in close games. This team is just really talented, which is why it hurts for me to not trust them a lot. I love Terrace Reed. I love Braylon Mullins. I love Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, Silas Demery. They've got some real pieces on this team, but when they face a really solid 8 or 9 seed like UCF or Missouri, I don't think that's going to be a cakewalk game for them. Those are physical, capable teams, and UConn consistently playing close games against inferior competition is eventually going to bite them. And in March, you don't get second chances, so unfortunately, I view UConn as the weakest 1 seed you should look out for in this tournament. And the third team you should be very wary of picking to go far is the Iowa Hawkeyes. I never like one-man teams in March. It almost never works, and this is absolutely the case with Iowa. Bennett Sturts has been carrying this team on his back. And here's a crazy stat for you. Okay, we're going to do a little Dora the Explorer skit here. I want you to guess Iowa's leading rebounder stat. Okay. Got your little whiteboard out? Got your answer? Ready? All right, here it is. 4.7. 4.7 rebounds a game is their leading rebounder. This team just is not a good rebounding team. They average 30 rebounds a game. That's not good. So I could absolutely see this team struggling to make shots and then getting destroyed on the glass. And in March, if you can't finish defensive possessions, you're done. Now, the one saving grace is that this team does play really slow, just like the same coach did with Drake last year. Played a really slow pace, and the reason they do that is because they have less talent. Playing at a slow pace ensures that the other team doesn't have as many possessions to score on you. But here's the issue of that. They give up offensive rebounds, so the extra possessions they're trying to limit, they give them right back. So unless Sturts drops 40, I don't see this team making it out of the first round, and I'm just not high on this Iowa Hawkeyes team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I see a lot of people high on Iowa. I'm curious to see what the consensus is on Iowa. Am I underrating them? But we got the second to last team to discuss, and it's going to be the BYU Cougars. Where Iowa is a one-man team, BYU is a bona fide 2-man team, especially with the unfortunate injury to Richie Saunders. They had a legitimate big 3 with him, but without him, it's a 2-man team. AJ DeBonsta and Robert Wright are awesome isolation players. They can get a bucket. whenever you need one, but they still haven't fully figured out how to gel because both of them need the ball in their hands to be effective. Okay, it's a bad example, but it's kind of like Kyrie and LeBron playing together. It never really like flowed together, but I mean it worked. And obviously these players aren't as talented as them, so they're not going to win a championship. But that's kind of like how they play together. But here's the difference between them and Iowa. Iowa is at least a top like 40 defensive team. BYU, okay, they're getting near like number 100 in defense. They are buns on defense. So pair that with an offense that only has 2 reliable options. This team has no bench, by the way. This team has absolutely no bench. I think besides Keita, the next leading scorer is like 7 or 6 points. So this team is not deep at all. They're without Richie Saunders to be a gravitational pull to get open looks for DeBonsa and Robert Wright. So I don't see this team going far. And as I'm recording this video 5 days in advance. So the conference tournament hasn't even started. I'm recording this on March 5th. As of right now, they have no definitive win. They beat Utah twice and like they've lost everyone else, you know. I absolutely do not trust this BYU team, which is a shame because I was really high on them early in the year, but we started seeing that this team just had no bench once they started playing good teams, and now they don't have Richie Saunders. And Keita isn't the defender that they hoped he would be, so I wouldn't trust the Cougars. I would trust the Houston Cougars, just not the BYU Cougars in March Madness 2026. And we're on to the number 1 team that I do not trust, and the team I absolutely do not trust to make it past the Sweet 16. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Where do I even start? They play Weena Hut Jr. teams first off. Braden Huff is injured, their second leading scorer and huge big man for them. The guard play just hasn't been elite for them. I don't know about these guards. Grant Foster is solid, especially in transition, but half the time he's not even a guard. They've been sliding him to the 4 without Braden Huff. It's very weird. But this team allows a lot of threes, and they don't have the best defensive guards. So they do have Grant Ike, who's always solid. He's reliable. But do I trust Gonzaga's guards to not turn the ball over against an actual high-level competition to actually get him the ball? I just don't. Every time I watch this team, I'm thinking, am I missing something, or is they just not great this year? Now, I've never been the guy who picks Gonzaga to lose in the first round because they play Weenie Hut Jr. teams. You know, they don't play elite competition. I've never been that guy because that narrative is honestly nonsense for Gonzaga. They've made 2 national championships in the past 10 years, so they're definitely the exception to the strength of schedule rule. But this year, they just don't pass the eye test for me. It's hard for me to explain. It's kind of like my reasoning for UConn. It's just a feel thing for me. And especially for a projected 3 seed, I just don't see them going far. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious because I'm curious to see if I'm alone in this Gonzaga. I'm not hating on them, but this perceived Gonzaga hate. Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about this year's March Madness. And I just can't wait until the bracket is revealed and I get to start dropping some bracket videos. In the meantime, I do have a top 5 teams I actually do trust video, a top 5 wildcard teams, and a top 5 Cinderella team videos. Those are all coming out in consecutive days. So make sure to like, subscribe, and I appreciate all of y'all for taking time to watch this video. And God bless you all.